Okay, folks, this is old Bubba back with you and his family. We're kind of like doing a little homeschool project here. My two youngest ones, they're going to do kind of like a historical walk with me and kind of help me out here. We're here at our home here on Adams Street here. And there's a lot of historical stuff here in Sparta, Georgia, which is Hancock County. And say hello and tell us your name.
Hi, I'm Haley. I'm Paris.
And this is my daughter, Paris. How old are you?
10. 11.
Okay, and she's just a little bit older than my son. You look at them, a lot of people think they're twins.
No.
But, well, definitely they're not twins. They act like they're twins, but what I wanted to do for you today, we're going to walk up this little street and down the hill. I got two parts to show you, but the main thing I want to show you today is I want to read a little bit of information I got off on the computer, and let's hold it here. What we're going to take a tour of it's called the Pomegranate Hall. It's also known as the Macy House. It was built in the 1830s by Judge Nathan Gary. It was painted a monastic brown. The house was made of local stone and bricks, which makes the walls of it, the foundation walls, 2 foot thick. The columns, when they stood, they were 24 foot high, and the house was generally referred to as a half house due to the entrance. Now, you see, in 1963, the widow of Oliver Macy of the famous Macy's department store in New York City moved in there, and she lived there until she died in the fall in 1992. And we think that this beautiful mansion, because I remember when it stood, it was a majestic house, mansion. We think it died somewhere around in 2001. And there's many different informations about this, but famous Macy lived here in Sparta, Georgia. And we're going to take a tour down there, and we're going to see if we can't see some of the ruins of it and videotape it for you. Okay? Well, we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Okay? Okay, folks, let's got you another section here. We're right up here from Adams Avenue. Just wanted to show you some of the old beautiful houses that are here. Walk up here. Now, it's in this town. It's part of Georgia. Now, this right here is just one of the first of several videos I plan on doing here of this old historical town. This town here is goes all the way back practically to the late 1700s. Here's just one of the old colonial style houses that's here, and this is just 2 doors up from my house. There should be a marker here somewhere that tells the families that have owned this house, ain't they?
I'm not sure. Unless they painted over it.
Unless that was the sign.
Yeah.
It's probably the sign on the house there that said the families that used to own it. Now, this has been passed down through, like, this beautiful old house right here. It's kind of like been passed down through several families. And I believe that sign over there has been painted over. It tells about the families that used to own this beautiful house. But see, back in 1970s here in Hancock County, some very controversial things that go on. A lot of civil rights protests, my understanding. And in a lot of places in Georgia, it's been heated with the civil rights going on. But ever since the 70s, this town has been losing businesses, and the government is not to everybody's liking and everything, even though you can't please everybody. That's a natural fact. Not everybody's going to be pleasing. But here's a house right here that somebody bought. Y'all get out of the middle of the road, please. Right there. And you see it's like one's primer and the other one's painting. I'm not sure which color it's going to be. But up to about maybe 4 months ago, that porch is a brand new porch. It was falling in. And they've kind of, I guess they took pictures of what the house used to look like. And they're trying to restore it back to its original glory. And down there, you can see the yellow house down there. There's houses that are beautiful, 2-story, that go back to the early 1830s, just the turn of the century. Now, that house down there is another style of colonial house down there, that yellow house. And people have redone it up because I remember when it was about to fall apart. And down here, right down the road here, this is the road we're heading toward the Macy house. We're going to walk down this road and show you the old jailhouse that's just down the road about 100 yards there. Okay. Okay, folks. This is our here in Hancock County again, still here on Adams Street, another part of it. Downtown historical area. We're behind the courthouse. This courthouse was just renovated after a major fire 3 years ago, and it was just like rededicated back a year ago, and they reopened it. And this courthouse here has a twin courthouse that looks just like it. And it's found in Monroe, Georgia, over in Walton County, which is about maybe 50, 60 miles from here. But what I wanted to show you here is the old jailhouse. Now, I don't know when they stopped using this thing, but look at this old stone masonry of this old jailhouse. Now, there's another courthouse almost like it, built in the same kind of area. And this old jailhouse is 112 years old. Now, it's not old as in comparison to some jailhouses, but it says the year that it was built is 1905. And
Mustard.
yeah, I see there's some mustard there. And you see the old bars here. Go over and take a look at this. Now, it's just sitting here. Ain't not being used no more. And thought that'd be something neat to show you. Look at these old walls here, how thick these stones are. That wall right there, you can see this cornerstone. That cornerstone right there is at least 2 foot thick. These walls. You know there wasn't going to be nobody break out of that jailhouse. We got the window here and such. But see, I remember back in the 80s, all this part of Sparta, Georgia, and we're behind the old Grand Hotel up there and such. This right here used to be a sewing factory. This was big back when sewing was big here. And this, I wanted to do this as part of the urban archaeology here. The person that owns this place was given money by the federal government to redo it, fix it up. From my understanding, they were supposed to be making it into apartments. And that's been, I know, almost 3 years ago. And you still see, I got posted no trespassing, but there ain't very much work been done to this old factory here. You can see where somebody had took and called themselves working on it and everything. They stripped it down, but they ain't done much work to it as such. I think it was just something for a tax write-off or to get some money from the government, because like I said, it took 3 years and it still looks like this condition and everything. This old sewing plant. And folks, this is what has happened to our country. You used to didn't have to have a skill when you come out of high school. You could learn a skill at your local sewing plant, you know, doing, was that Timmy?
I'm not sure.
But anyway, you could do sewing, working in the cutting room, spreading, cutting cloth, and these were skills, highly skills and demandable skills that we no longer have here in the United States. And it saddens my heart because I used to know how to cut and spread cloth. Did it when I was in high school over in Thompson, Georgia. And it's really, really sad.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good.
Hey, could you with it, Sheriff? What was that?
Go back down here, turn around and go to the red light, stay on that road, and go around the curve, and you'll be right at the sheriff's office.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir. But as you can tell, there's no trespassing signs there, but I'm going to walk up here and see if I can get a glimpse up here and everything. Just get a little shot here on the inside. Well, I ain't going to do no damage to it. Stay back, y'all. Stay back. See this inside shot here? So like what it used to be in the offices and stuff like that. That's all this on the inside here. We've been nothing but cutting room and sewing plant out here. We've been probably the president's office right there. I mean, the plant manager. But yeah, this used to be a busy street right here, Sparta, Georgia, and it's like past 30 years, actually 50, 60 years. This place has died. There's hardly no industry here. And there's several people did videos on downtown area, which I hope to do a video soon and show you all the downtown stores that's no longer in business, and that's no longer got people in there. About maybe of all the 40, 50 stores down, I mean 60 or 70 stores we got downtown, it might be 10 left here. And just like Backstreet, the hospital is no longer in use. It's been shut down at least over 10 years. I ain't had a hospital since here nowhere. I believe this used to be an old feed store or something right here. But as you can tell, there's a plenty of abandoned buildings here in Sparta, Georgia. And y'all get back. Just see what was the last thing that was in here. Can't really tell from the mess that's on the floor in here. But it could have been an auto parts place too. There's no telling what this old store was. Yeah, I see. Okay, well, we're going to stop here until we get up there to the Macy's house, and that'll be the last part of this video. Okay, folks, we're still here on Adams Street, and this spooky old house here. Hold this for me. I remember when this house was in better shape than what it is now. Y'all stay right there. This beautiful old house. I would take a chance on walking up there doing it if we were like in the country. But this is up here behind the grocery store. Now, here's something funny here, folks. This is IGA, the back part of the IGA here in Sparta, Georgia. This is the only grocery store we got here. In a town about 3,000 folks, this is about the only store that we got here. And I like IGA stores because they got good food and good canned goods and stuff to buy. I don't like this particular IGA. And I very rarely shop here. But this beautiful old house right here, this beautiful old house is known because of Adams Street, the Adams house, as like in the Adams family. And you come down here and walking during the middle of the night sometimes. I like to do very rarely. I do like to get out and walk in the morning time. This house right here can be a little creepy here. And this is what Sparta is known in Sparta, Georgia as the Adams house. And it was very beautiful at one time. And it's sad that folks just don't care, the younger generation just don't care about taking care of those stuff. Get down off that wall. And such. Alright, folks, we're going to continue to get to the Macy house. Alright, folks, here's another landmark here. This old barn is known as the Graves Barn. I've seen this barn in older pictures of Sparta, Georgia here. And that goes back to the 1800s. They say this barn is circa 1890, but actually I'm going to want to tell you, I believe it's older than 1890. I think that's just a guess about the time when this barn was built, and it says the Graves family had this barn. It says there's a restoration project of this barn by Sparta Hancock County Historical Society, but you take a good look at it now, and looks like it needs to be restored again and such. And there's a picture of the Adams house again. And the only grocery store we got. And old house here on the corner. And where, picture right there where another, them pecan trees where another old house used to stand. And we're almost be finished this video. We're doing it in sections. And top of this hill, we going to be at the Macy house and see the ruins of it, because like I said, it was back in somewhere around 2001 that it caught on fire, and there's a little bit left for us to see. Okay, well, we should be there in just a little bit. Okay, folks, we're back down here at our appointed spot, right up there in that old tree of roosting. Some of Hancock's finest workers, the cleanup crew around here. These old buzzards. Just got through seeing them. I wish I'd caught it, but they were fighting for several minutes up there about who's going to get what perch. But right behind that tree, if you can see from here, that's what's left of part of the old burned down Macy house out here in Hancock County. Now, there's a beautiful house that's right next door to it. Not sure if anybody still lives in it, but that's probably one of the best houses left here in Hancock County that's there. But look at this beautiful house right here that needs to be restored. I don't think nobody's lived there in at least almost 10 years. And another house over there that I don't think nobody's lived in a while. But y'all stay on the sidewalk here. I'm going to get out here in the middle of the street and see if we can't take a picture. And that's the house, folks. That's the old Macy house. Like I said, it caught fire somewhere around the early 2000s. Somewhere about around 2002. But the widow of Macy bought this house and lived there, like I said, until she died like in 1992. And they said the inside of this house was beautiful. Now, I don't see no trespassing signs or anything like that, but if I can find a way in, I'd like to see pictures of that old house.
Right here.
But it says privately owned on the door, what's left of it. This is the old Macy's house. And we're, like I said, we're here over here on the back side. This, and there's a lot of the old timers here. They remember Miss Macy and everything. They said it was a beautiful house inside, and they kept it clear and everything. I think the entrance of the driveway is the old gate right here. Here's the old gate. Look at this old wired iron gate here. It's a metal gate here. Yeah, I'm just showing a little column here. And like I said, even before... What's that?
Flower design on.
You know, look at that beautiful flower design here on this old doings. Now, if I was by myself, you see the house up in there. If I was by myself, I got my kids with me, I think I would go in there and check it out, but I'm not going to try to enter it, anything. The gate's open, like welcome me to come on in, and that's just too big of a risk for me. And there's something down here at the end, right down there at the road, I want to show you, but the video's going to be long enough. It's an underground tunnel walkway. It used to be, they wouldn't let children cross over there. The children to go to school had to walk up underneath the road. If you could see the chain link fence around it. And on the other side of the road, that's the library. And the tunnel comes up underneath the road on the other side, and it's all locked up and got barbed wire on it, so people can't go down in that tunnel anymore. And right here, over there in that corner where that's the county tax office, and that's where the old school used to be. From I told by talking to some of the older people around here, that was the school that used to be here. Okay, folks, well, this is a part of downtown, hometown, ghost town of Sparta, Georgia. And this is an old famous landmark of a Macy's department store. Yeah, I see. Macy's department store. Widow used to live right here in this beautiful house. And I remember when it still stood. And before all these weeds growed up and everything, it was a beautiful house. What I'm going to try to do is before I put this rest of this video together, on the front, we're going to try to see if we can find some old pictures of what this house used to look like and post them on there before this rest of the video. Okay, folks, well, if you enjoyed this video, how about hit the like button down below and leave a comment and subscribe to the Jewish Redneck Prepper. Until the next time, this is old Bubba and Mahaley and Pears there with my walking stick, saying God bless and shalom.